nowadays, do you think it's an incentive to being a good woman? Just
Yes.
oh, go ahead, Marky Mark. Why do you think that?
I mean, how is you gonna get a family, a man, and people to try and defend you, respect you, and look out for you?
Does being a good woman get you a good man? I mean, get you a man though.
It increases your chance.
Mm.
You don't
I'd
think so?
argue, do most women really want a man? From what
I
we
think
hear in this
I
space,
think they do.
they do. I can tell
I
you,
don't believe them when
guarantee
they say
most women want a man. And it's so funny because I had this conversation. I'm gonna let everybody else go. I had a conversation, and the conversation, and it goes back to what we've mentioned before about what is a good man. People just think because he's a great person, you should marry him. There's so much more that goes into women choosing mates than just he's a nice guy. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is, you know. So, and we've talked about this on the show before, but I just wanted to. But go ahead, Enos. But I guarantee most women want a mate.
Yeah, I think absolutely most women want a man. But I think there is a lot of incentive to be a good woman. It's just the payoff for it is a long-term goal and not a short-term goal. And because a lot of people can't see past short-term goals, it just doesn't seem like there's incentive. You just have to be more forward thinking. Play chess, not checkers.
Well, my thing is, as I wonder about the intention of being a good woman, like not necessarily the incentive. Is the purpose of you being a good woman just because you're trying to attract a man, or you just want to be a good person? Like for me, I just think that if you're a good person, then I think that would make you a good man or a good woman. I think that's the initial. No, I was going to say, I think that's the initial step. And then whoever you attract or whoever you're in a relationship with, then I think it goes a little deeper in terms of making adjustments to accommodate the person that you're with, if that makes sense. I just think the goal needs to be a good person. And then once you get with the person that you're with, then you'll end up doing extra things because of the person that you're with.
And so when I mention good woman and good men, I think that they go hand in hand. I think that it goes because it's a lot of great women as far as personality is concerned, right? But then you start thinking how useful they are, how value do they have value? And I think that that's the same thing as it relates to men. When women look at men and men look at women, can she cook? Does she clean? All these things that adds value, right? It's not just about being a good person, because you'd be a good person to be my friend. But if you come with some things that may be useful, then that makes you maybe a good mate. But the same goes true for women seeking men. It's not just about you being a nice guy and you're ready to marry. Like, do you have what it takes to be a husband? Are you a great leader? What is your thoughts on this, that, and it's so much more than just being a good person, if that makes sense.
Do you think it's hard to find good men and women nowadays?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's hard to find good people, depending on where. I guess. Well, let me take that back. Depending on where you're at, and who you choose to surround yourself around.
I
But
think most people. Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead. No. Go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say I think most people think that they're good people.
Mhm.
I think that that's something that society or other people will have to tell you. I don't think you can self-proclaim it though. But I think most people proclaim it and then operate from that stance. But the world, I think, has to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I say that there is incentive for women to be good. Um, just like there's incentive for women to be bad. I think that sometimes people, but especially women, they have the idea of what a good man is, but not understand with some of the good of a man, there's also some issues with a man. Like how he's designed is a little bit different than you. And I don't think a lot of women really understand that even some of the good men that you believe are leaders, protectors, and providers, they have some things that you don't think about that's also comes with a good man that some women would consider those the bad, like most of the time you only want the great things about men. You don't want the bad things about men. Like one thing that might come with a man that you like, that he's a leader and that he's a provider, he might be like, nah, that's not what we doing. Hey, as much as you think that you have a better answer, ma'am, we're not doing this. And you'd be like, oh, well, you know, sometimes you just seem so stubborn and da da da. Well, is he responsible for the relationship? Yes. Does he take care of you? Is he responsible for you and the well-being of the family? Yes. Okay. So there might be times where you feel like he should go a different way or he should do a different thing, but he's not going to do that, because sometimes the people that are responsible for the company or for whatever, they're going to do things that's contrary to what you think that they should be doing, because you're not responsible, he responsible.
It was something that you just said, HD. Do you think it's more incentive for women to be bad women than good women?
I don't think it's more incentive. I think what it is that you don't really understand what is good and what the incentives actually are. Because if you show behavior that most people would consider bad behavior and you get attention for that, you think that that's a good incentive. No.
It's positive reinforcement. It's
yes, you're getting positive. But the thing is, it's not positive, because you're getting used to what you're trying to get. So you're trying to get this person using this thing that's not good, right? And then you think you're getting this thing that's happening to you and you're considering it good. But like you said, or one of y'all said, the long-term gain ain't good if this is how you attracted this person. So though you had received something for this negative thing that you did, like I think it's smart to realize that oftentimes good men, good women, or just people in general, we don't really understand what's really good for us, because we have our own perspective of what we think is good. Because there might be some things that's a really hard lesson for you to learn that might be good for you, but because you don't feel like it's good, you're going to be like, yeah, we're not doing that. You're going the opposite direction.
Do you think that possibly toxicity just attracts toxicity? So for example, just because you're a leader doesn't mean you're not toxic in some form, right? Because if you're dating her and she's toxic, you pulled her in, you are dating a toxic person. So that's just as much on you as it is on that person. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something about you that keeps giving into this toxicity. So that makes you toxic yourself. And so what has happened is a lot of these guys who people deem as great men, as because they look great on paper, they are toxic. And so they bring in toxicity, and you think that, oh, that's what he wants, so let me bring on toxic behavior. And you see more and more women wanting to be in his company, and so they become that toxic person. Do you understand? So for example, when we look at our celebrities, that's how we can go by right now. Not that we do that in real life, I'm just saying. Those women aren't what I would deem, and I'm not, more actors usually have good women, but let's just say athletes. Those women aren't what I would deem great women. They don't look like what I would look and choose the wife that I would choose for my son, basically. And so when people see that, they like, oh, that's what I have to do. That's what I have to be to get this type of guy, right? But even though he's this person, he's toxic himself.
I think a good example of that would be like Blueface, the rapper Blueface. The relationship him and Krishan got spawned a whole. Well, he got in a relationship with her off of his show, right? I never seen it, but I think it's called Bad Girls Club or something like that, where they walk around and they literally are incentivizing people to behave that way, and it's spawning eras of people that are acting like that.
And
Yeah,
just
but
imagine.
I don't agree that toxic, just because you're toxic, it attracts toxic. That's like
no,
saying,
but it keeps it in his company longer, because if you're not toxic, you're probably quicker to get rid of toxicity in your company. And so what I say to you is this: men have this tendency to want to change women, right? So she's toxic, she comes in your company, you want her to, but she is who she is. So if you were a little less toxic, you would just take that with what it is and understand that this is not your energy, this is not the company you should be keeping. But because you got a little bit that's attracted to toxicity and this need to want to change her or whatever, you keep it going.